Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief hosted by me, Rolene Marks, from a very hot Israel. At least today it's hot because of the weather, because it's our summer weather, not because of any situation going on. So if you're new to it, welcome to the Israel Brief, where we meet here every Monday to Thursday to take a look at those top stories making the headlines in Israel that you will not see in your mainstream media. As always, the Israel Brief is brought to you in partnership with these guys, Lay of the Land. And more about where you can find Lay of the Land, our various social media, coming up a little later. Now, it is day 628 since the 7th of October. And we don't forget, not for a second, now that focus is off the situation with Iran, now that Operation Rising Lion has come to its conclusion, we are focused on our hostages. This needs to be the absolute priority. Even during Operation Rising Lion, we kept on demanding the release of our hostages. Now, this is the imperative. Make it happen that they are all released immediately. So, Israel is slowly going back to normal. I think it's going to take a while for us to reset our nervous systems. I don't think many people, unless you have lived here during the last 2 weeks, understand the enormous toll that Iran's bombardments on Israeli civilian centers took on us. The sleepless night, being hypervigilant as we wait for that blast coming from the Home Front Command to alert us to incoming missiles, the damage to property, 28 lives lost or murdered. It could be 29. I'm just waiting for confirmation on the number. And a lot of destruction to civilian infrastructure, hospital, elderly care facilities, daycare centers for schools, research labs that research cancer and ways to improve the world, public property like businesses and shops, private residences, restaurants. That was hit by Iran, not nuclear and military targets that we hit. So let's take a look at the headlines. And fresh off his expletive-laden address to the media yesterday, that has got many of you nominating President Trump for both Mensch and Moron of the Week in a first. So keep those nominations coming, guys, and tune in tomorrow to see who makes the list. President Trump addressed NATO, kind of doing a victory lap with fellow NATO powers, all congratulating him on the enormous success of managing to broker a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Some nominations for the Nobel Prize for President Trump. Now, I just want to reiterate, we are non-partisan here at the Israel Brief. We do not endorse any political candidate or any political position. We bring you the facts as they are on the ground. So before everybody tears into me, that's where we stand. So I will read to you a little bit from his speech. The president did praise the state of Israel for scaling back on a planned major attack yesterday. This was after Iran had violated the ceasefire. And he says, I was so proud of them. Trump says, it was a great thing. He says, technically they were right, that Iran did break the ceasefire by firing after the 7 a.m. start of the ceasefire. He says it was a little bit of a violation. Now, he also spoke about the ceasefire without going into details. He just said that Israel basically got equal measure. So Israel got whatever Israel was seeking. And last night, Prime Minister Netanyahu, as well as the Ramatkal, the IDF Chief of Staff, confirmed that Israel had reached all our military goals during Operation Rising Lion. And we had two military goals. One was to demolish or significantly set back the nuclear program, and the other was to set back the ballistic missile program. Now, with regards to the internal situation in Iran, and I reiterate, the people of Israel stand with the Iranian people. That is not something that Israel can interfere with. I think everybody understands that we cannot interfere in any kind of regime change in any other country. Now, the president also lambasted mainstream media like CNN, the New York Times, and others for saying that the bombing of the Fordo nuclear site was not successful. He said it is absolutely nonsense, and we had confirmation from the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth that it was a resounding success. The president also said that Israel had agents in Fordo shortly after the attack, and he said they reported seeing complete destruction. So that's where we sit on that. But what is it like for Israel? Slowly but surely the country is going back to normal. Ben Gurion Airport is at full operation. So for anyone wondering if it is safe to come to Israel at the moment, it is perfectly safe. It is absolutely perfectly safe. And guys, we will need those solidarity visits to the country because our tourism industry has taken a knock. So where you can, buy from Israel, shop Israeli, and come and visit us in Israel. We also have ended our state of emergency. The economy has opened up. Schools have gone back. Businesses have reopened. And also hospitals have gone off their war footing. In fact, Rambam Hospital from the north, in the north of the country, in Haifa, have taken all their, or evacuated, or unevacuated, all the wards that they had brought down to the underground bunker. They have taken them all back to normal wards. And Israel is back to normal. We're slowly trying to get our circadian rhythms back to normal, and we will rebuild whatever was destroyed. Now we talk about the hostages, and President Trump in his address to NATO said that great progress was being made with regards to Gaza, and he said especially the hostage crisis. He says that Israel's attacks on Iran had certainly created the deal and a better situation for the return of the hostages. Now, this was sort of confirmed by a Hamas official earlier today who said that talks had intensified and said that they had not stopped talking with their Qatari and Egyptian moderators. Israel resent a delegation to Cairo yesterday, but as we stand, a senior Hamas official has said there are no updates on any hostage deal just yet. We haven't heard any comments coming in from Israel's side, but of course all we want now are our 50 hostages back. And we end this broadcast on a very, very shattering note. And Israelis woke up this morning to news that 7 soldiers had fallen in Gaza overnight. These 7 soldiers were all part of the Combat Engineering Corps, and they died when an explosive device was put on the APC that they were traveling in. President Herzog called them 7 flowers cut down in their prime, and Prime Minister Netanyahu called it an extremely difficult day for Israel. You know, all of us in Israel either know somebody who has fallen or know several families who have lost their finest sons and daughters, or our finest sons and daughters, in defense of the state of Israel. May their memories be eternally blessed. We owe them a debt we can never repay. And finally, let's take a look at our audience question. And before we do, I just want to give a shout out to Vicky Smith from London, or the UK. Vicky, if you're watching, thank you for taking the time to engage with me yesterday via Instagram. it really, really is appreciated, and it makes a world of difference, especially in a world where people rush to judgment and rush to criticize and even discriminate and use racist language against Jews and Israelis. So Vicky Smith, if you're watching, I just wanted to give you a shout out. Thank you so much. And now for our audience question, comes from Richard from Johannesburg, who says, what do Israelis feel about the ceasefire? So I think there's as always with Israelis, there's a mixed bag of opinions. Some believe that we agreed to a ceasefire a little too early. Many are grateful for it, because we also can't forget that even though we 100% understood why we attacked Iran, we also took an enormous knock. And of course, there are many who wonder, have we not just kicked the can a little further down the road? Because without a doubt, there will be more confrontations. While the IRGC, while the Ayatollahs still remain in power, we will always have conflict with Iran. But as I said earlier, that's not for us to change. That's for the people of Iran and for us to support them. So that's it from me for today, guys. Don't forget your mentions and your morons for tomorrow. And a reminder to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our YouTube channel is right here at the Israel Brief. If you like our content, please hit that red subscribe button. We are on Facebook at Lottel's site, on I just said YouTube. See, I still need my sleep. On Instagram at Rolene_Marks, on LinkedIn at Rolene Marks, and I think I left out Facebook at Lottel's site. Guys, forgive me. It's been a hell of a 2 weeks, but God bless you all, and I will see you again tomorrow for the Thursday edition of the Israel Brief. Bye for now.